Hi, it's Elaine. Today I thought I'd like to do a deconstruction on a grapevine with you to show you how we do that. First, let me introduce myself. My name is Elaine Malo. I'm owner and creator at Inspired by My Angel, CLM. And my desire is to show you today how we would deconstruct a grapevine and then go forward and create another wreath out of it. So the first thing that I would do is the main vine, which is this here. I've found the end, and I'm just going to take that and remove it from our grapevine. This is the main vine that twists around, that holds the rest of the grapevines together. So what I'm doing now is just trying to remove that. Let me see if I can find the other end here. We'll just follow it. You'll eventually come to it. So here it is. Here's the other end. So we're just going to take that off. I'd just like to make another shape with the grapevine. And I had done that in a previous video and made it a double. So I thought I would just show you how I go about taking that apart. So here we are. This is the main vine that was holding our grapevine together. And I'll keep that because we can always use this for another project. We'll just put that to the side. And now we have our grapevine, which has pine needles and pieces of pine branches. And I'm going to just grab my clipper. We'll snip a few of those things out just to better enable us to access the vine and pull it apart. So now that we have that off, I'm going to just try to loosen it up. So you can see what I'm doing here. I'm just gently pulling at the grapevine. You can see we almost have it in two pieces. This could be a total disaster. See what shape we would like to create. I was thinking a double circle would be pretty. So you can see we've almost got it totally apart here. So what I'm going to do is just snip the vine here. Okay, so we have this smaller size, and then we've got this one a little looser. We can reshape that, bring that a little tighter. Now to decide what it is that I would like to do, just get some of these pine needles off. And then what I'll be doing is I'll be using this binding wire. It's a paper covered wire, and I'll use that to hold our deconstructed grapevine together once I've got the desired shape that I want. Okay, so I've got one here. Let me see how this one would be, if we get that all back together, just cleaning out some of the pine needles. Okay, so this one's would be a little bit larger. You could get that tightened up and together. And what I was thinking was putting two together like this and perhaps creating something in the center here. Was my thoughts. It's something that could hang this way, but I was thinking maybe more sideways. So let me just play with this a little bit. Try to get these more to equal size. So I'm just going to pull a little bit more of this grapevine out. See if we can get this a little bit smaller. I'm just pulling on the vine, trying to tighten it up. Let's take this other one. We're getting closer. Okay, now I have these other pieces I can add in, and I'll just kind of do that a little at a time. Get them sitting together, trying to keep it a little smaller. Cut this pine branch out. I'm going to pull this in a little tighter. And here's another small piece. I'm going to lay that on top. Another piece, I'm laying it back in. This is a little large, so I'm going to cut this down. And I hope you can see this okay. And I'm just placing these on top. Try to tighten this one up a little bit. I'm going to lay that on top. Cut these pieces off. Let's see if we got that tied up. Would be pretty close in size. You just hold it up like this so you can see that. What I was thinking is this would almost look like wedding bands. Would make a pretty gift for wedding, an anniversary celebration. So those are my thoughts. So let's go ahead and try to tie this up. Okay, I'm just going to begin cutting off a piece of my binding wire. Just going to wrap that around. You can see this. Tie that up. Snip off the excess. Get another piece. We'll keep making our way around. Just tying this back up. Just for something a little different to put in my Etsy shop. To make a nice, like I said, anniversary gift, wedding gift. And wreaths are such a great gift to give. And I think sometimes people don't think of that. Okay. Come down here, we'll get another piece of our binding wire. For those of you who may not know me, again, my name is Elaine. I'm owner and creator at Inspired by My Angel, CLM. My wreath making journey began in September of 2020. After losing my job due to the COVID and the closures, the small ladies boutique that I was working in tried to hang in there, but with the closures was unable to maintain it. So unfortunately in August of 2020 she closed and I found myself without a job. I am retirement age, well above retirement age, but enjoyed working I was just working part-time. Anyway, fall was coming and I was thinking I would like to have a new wreath for my door. Began searching on YouTube. Normally I would have purchased. And found so many wonderful designers, such talent, willing to share their knowledge. So after watching many videos, I headed to the craft store, bought some supplies, came home and I made a wreath. My wreath came out quite nice, but what impressed me the most was the joy it gave me to create the wreath. I had no idea. So this is how my journey's begun. And I guess what it is I'm trying to accomplish is I feel so honored, or thankful, I should say, to all the people who shared with me as I'm beginning my journey. I have signed up for 2 design classes online, and I thought what I would like to do is to give back as well as these other creators do, and take you along on my journey, but from the perspective of a newbie, not someone who has a tremendous amount of experience. As I said, this began in September of 2020. And I'm passionate about it. I can't tell you enough how much joy this gives me. Okay, so what we've done, we put back together half of the wreath that we had just deconstructed. So now let's grab our other half. It's right here. And let's do the same thing to that. Excuse me. Okay, just like we did on the other one, I'll just pick a spot to begin. Cut off some of my binding wire. I'm not sure if I had already told you what that was. It's a wire that's covered in a paper covering. And it's very flexible and easy for me to work with, and it can be tied off. And I'm doing that in about 6 or 7 places along the grapevine to make sure that it's nice and secure. And cutting off any wild pieces that we might have that would interfere. I live in Central Florida. It's a little cloudy today, but the high is supposed to be 81. I work out in my utility room, and I do have the door open, so I hope it's not too noisy with cars traveling by. If it gets too noisy, I'll shut that door. But the air conditioner out here is noisier, I believe, than people going by, so that's why I left the door open. And I understand a good portion of the country is getting snow and ice and freezing temperatures and losing power. I feel very fortunate to be living here in Florida where it's so mild. I'm originally from the state of Rhode Island, which is along the East Coast, north of New York. So I know what it's like to experience the snow and ice storms and losing power. And I'm very happy that I don't need to endure that any longer. I moved here to Central Florida in 2004. So I'm here 17 years, enjoying every moment of it. So you can see how nice and tight that's beginning to get. We still have a few more to add. I don't know why I enjoy taking these grapevines apart, but I do. I think it's just to work on something a little different. I have opened an Etsy shop, and the name of my Etsy shop is Inspired by My Angel, CLM. And I have approximately 90 items in my store. So since September, I have been very busy creating and trying to get a good inventory in my shop. So if you wouldn't mind, go there and you can see some of the items that I have created. If you like what you see, favorite my shop, give it a heart. What that'll do will give you a notification when I put something new in my shop. And you can go over and check that out. The more likes you get, Etsy realizes that you're a serious seller, and with traffic visiting and liking, it helps with the algorithm of getting my shop seen. So likes and favorites of the shop would greatly help my new small business. So I'll thank you in advance for doing that. Also, you're watching this video on YouTube. If you wouldn't mind giving this a like and a share. Also, if you wouldn't mind commenting below what you thought of this video, I would so appreciate the feedback. As I said, I'm new, and I can use all the feedback that you're able to provide to help me do a better job at sharing my journey with you. So thank you in advance for that as well. Okay, we're a little, I think I need another piece here and another one over here, and then we'll have a nice shape. Let me know what you think of my idea of joining these to form rings. rings, or I mean, it could be even, I guess it could represent eternity, even if it wasn't a wedding, if it was just a couple together. Okay, that looks good. So let's see how they are. This one's a little bit smaller, but I think if we overlap this, I was thinking something like this. We just want to see how wide that would make this. Yeah, it would keep it at about 20 inches. Yeah, 20 or 21 inches. And then, as I said, my thought is that then I would be able to create here in the center. I need to get the same amount of distance, I think, on each side. I'm going to just try to bend this a little bit, make it a little bit more oval. Okay, I'm going to, I think this looks pretty good. If you can see that, and push that forward. So what I'd like to do, I'm going to secure it in both of these places. So I'm going to take my binding wire. I'm going to come around. Secure that. And see how much distance I've got in the center. So 15, 10. Okay, so I think right about here. So I'm going to join it here where it's overlapping. I believe the sign for the eternity is kind of like this, like in sideways 8. So we are accomplishing that. I'm going to go back with some more, and this time I think what I want to do is feed it. I'm going to, hope you can see this, feed this through my top grapevine, coming from the inside, coming back up, securing it that way as well. I'll bring this closer. You can't even see where I'm joining these or have reattached these vines together. It blends in very nicely. Bring that a little closer. I don't know if you can see. probably not. The light isn't that great in here, but I've attached here, and then I've gone through the grapevine and attached again, and I'm going to do the same thing on this side. So I'm going to come up and through the grapevine on the bottom, and then I'm going to go through the top of it, the top vine, and back through the underneath vine, making this nice and secure. And flip it over, and then I can join it there, twist and give it a knot. Okay, so here we are. We've got it joined. Just go and clean this up a little bit more. Some of these pieces that are sticking out a little too far. But this is very secure. You can see it's not going anywhere. So just to show you that, you know, if it's something you thought you might be interested in trying, I thought I would come on and show you how I deconstruct it. I don't know if there's a right or wrong way. As I said, I'm new at this. So I'm not going to create on this at this time right now. I just wanted to come on quickly and show you how I deconstruct and reassemble it. You can see a spot over here I want to tie a little better. But I mean, I think there's a lot of applications for this. I mean, we could design on the outside of it. I had done a wreath last week where I used a double vine and inserted a lantern that will work with a battery operated candle, and that application could be used here as well. If we did have it hang this way, we could have a lantern here in the center and maybe do florals on either side. I'll show you that other wreath that I did. This is the wreath that I did last week. I'm not sure if you'll be able to see it that well. Let me see if I can get it in here. But I have a lantern with the battery operated candle. Just let that drop out for now. We move the other one out of the way and maybe you'll be able to distinguish the two. And this is another one where I took a full vine and then I had taken another one apart and joined it in the center, creating an area for my lantern to sit. So we could do something like that as well with that one. Or we could just design here in the center and have a bow up here, maybe at the off center, and another one here. Like something small. Let me take a look and see, just to give you an idea where my thought process is. I'm thinking, what if we did something, you know, with these small pansy, lavender, and we could create something here in the center. Or maybe something with tiny tea roses and just have our tea roses sweeping up on both sides and a sweet bow and showing a little more of our vine. So that's a thought as well. So anyway, I just wanted to share with you today how my mind works, and to show you how I deconstruct a grapevine and then create another design from that and try to create something that's a little more unusual and unexpected. So thank you so much for watching my video today. Again, please like and share. Visit my Etsy shop, Inspired by My Angel, CLM, and hopefully I'll see you on the next video. Thank you. Bye now. Hi, it's Elaine. I'm back. On the previous video, we had deconstructed our grapevine, reconstructed it into these 2 rings. I had an idea of this maybe representing infinity, and thought that this would make a very nice anniversary gift, wedding gift. Actually, I've decided to go with these pink, you can see these on camera. They have pink in the center, and then on the bottom, I'm also going to use some, this is a very pale pink berry and a eucalyptus that has a light pink tip. So this would be very nice for the wedding. Also, a new baby girl would be very sweet to bring as a gift for the new baby. But my original thoughts were doing the ring and creating this infinity as if these were wedding bands. But I believe there could be multiple applications for it. So I went ahead and I made the bow, just 2 small bows, because I don't want to cover this section where they join. So I've placed 1 small bow here, and one is just a white canvas. And this white has a little snowball. I'm not sure if you can see it. There's just a hint of sparkle on the snowball. Just catches the light. Very pretty. So this is going to be similar to the way that I've done a tulip wreath in the past. So I believe what I'm going to do is I'm going to start here on this side. I'm going to have all of my roses go in the same direction. As I said, leaving this center open, so we'll be going around the outside. So let's start over here, and right next to the bow, I think I would like to put the small eucalyptus with the pink tips. I've gone ahead and cut them. I'm just going to bend the end going in the direction that I want it to go into the vine. I've got some extra berries here that we can cut up if we need them. I'm going to bring over my Spanish moss in case I need to fill in. Because don't forget, we have created 2 thinner vines. So I want to make sure that none of the mechanics or glue show, so I may need to apply a little bit of moss to hide the glue. But to begin with, we're just going to dip our stem in our hot glue. I'm just going to lift this bow and just slide our eucalyptus in. Bring my bow back. So we've just got that. And let's see, next I'll bring the rosebud. I'm going to insert right down the center, and if we feel we need to fill in on either side, we'll do that. Just gave them a little bit of a bend so they don't lay completely flat. And then we'll come in with our berry under the rose. I'm just going to lift the rose up and insert the berry, like so. So if you can see that, it's not lying flat. Just get a little bit of my moss. Well, that glue is still damp. Then I'm just going to insert a little bit of the moss right there where that glue is showing. And we'll do that as needed. Okay. So that's the plan. So again, leaving a little bit of a space, but it doesn't have to be too much. We'll come in with our eucalyptus. And grab a little bit of moss. Just apply that right to that glue. Spreading that out. Next we'll come in with our tea rose, giving it a little bend. Giving it a bend so it's not flat. Because I did thin out the grapevine, I am going to need to place a little bit of our Spanish moss at the base. Now next we'll come back with some of the berry. Spreading it out. Don't want that one to stick up quite so high. That one looks okay. I don't think I need the moss. Okay, so this is what we'll be doing around our wreath. Snipping these ends if they seem a little bit too long. Sliding with the in the direction of the vine. Placing a little bit of moss. Come back with another one of our buds. I think this could be a little bit, no, I think that length is okay. I want to be able to have enough to slide into the grapevine and give it support. So we're just going to go under the eucalyptus, placing our rose, and applying a little Spanish moss when necessary. Very pretty. Okay, we'll come back with some eucalyptus. Oh no, wait a minute, I need to add my berry. This berry reminds me a little of baby's breath. Make sure that's not coming through the other side, and it's not. Just spreading it out. Okay, a little bit of our eucalyptus. Pulling my glue strings as I go, just dropping them back into the skillet. They'll melt. If this is the first time you're watching, I do use a electric kitchen skillet, just like you would use in your kitchen to fry food in. Then I just place my glue sticks in. You have a temperature, put it on about medium and let your glue sticks melt, and you can just dip your stems. There's less risk of being burnt using it that way. Okay, give our flowers a little bend. We don't want it to be flat. Sliding in. I can see a little bit of my glue. So I just take the moss and roll it in a little ball and wedge it between the stem and the vine. That's covering the glue, and it's also adding some stability to our florals. Okay, come back in with some berries. Slide that under. Just spread it out. A little bit of moss. Okay, and I am going to stop when I reach the where it joins. I do want to leave that exposed. I just think this would make such a nice wedding gift, or beautiful decoration for at the wedding. I mean, this would be lovely even if you wanted to sit it on a table and place a large pillar candle right here in the center. That would be nice as centerpieces for the table as well. Like I said, I think you'll find there'll be many uses for this, or whoever the lucky recipient is. So now we're back to the rosebuds. Little moss. And the addition of our berries. Spread those out. I actually like the texture of adding the moss there as well. You can see it from the inside a little. It looks nice. Oops, I knocked one off. I'll just put a little dab of glue, because I don't want that to happen when the customer buys it, and we'll just glue that right back up. Fluffing my bow back up. We'll do that so many times as we work on it, it gets crushed. But not to fear, fluffs right back up. All of the ribbon is wired. So see, you can get nice loops on that. can see how that's looking. Very pretty. Okay. So as I cross over, now I'm going to just put one here on this side of the bow. So again, now I'll start with my eucalyptus. Just inserting that at the base here where it joins together. Applying a little glue. Applying a little moss. Now we'll put our tea rose in. Make that a little shorter. Little moss. And get the berry right up here next to our bow. Fluff my bow out, make sure we've got plenty of room. Just gonna slide that, spread it out. Fluff our bow. Even though we have the bow, I just wanted to keep this all going in one direction, to keep the eye moving and then focusing on our infinity center. Okay, so now we're starting at the other side of this bow. So as we did here, I'm going to start with the eucalyptus. Just going to lift that bow up, go right under the skirt. Get a little bit of my moss. Inserting that, just pressing that on that wet glue and wedging it in between the vine, grapevine. Okay, so we're right there next to our bow. Now we'll come in with our tea rose. Can make that a little bit shorter. As I said, I'm coming right down the center of the vine, but if we think we need to go back, we'll add more to the sides, although we're getting a very nice coverage. We'll see if we're going to need it. I'd like to keep this on the delicate side. Don't want it to be too heavy. Just turn that a little bit, come back with some berry. Lift up our rose, just slide under, spreading it out. Every once in a while I see a little odd piece of the vine sticking out. We did trim it quite well when I was on earlier, and we deconstructed our vine. We trimmed it up, but it still needs just a little. So that's looking very nice. Okay, let's start again with our eucalyptus. Spread it out. I just can't say enough positive things about making wreaths. I just find it so relaxing. Gives me joy. I just love it. Okay, we placed our eucalyptus, so we need our little tea rose. These are so sweet, just little buds. I did find these at Michael's. If you decide you want to try to make one of these yourself. That's where I got all of the florals, actually came from Michael's. I do order a good majority of my florals, my wreaths online, but these I did get at Michael's. And I'm hoping that as you see what I'm doing and just beginning my journey, and you can see that I'm able to create something that's pleasing. Give me your thoughts in the comments below on that. But I guess just letting you know you can do this as well. Of course, if you don't have the time or don't want to make the time, you can always visit my Etsy shop. This will be in my Etsy shop within the next couple of days for purchase. Okay, we're doing well. Okay, so we still got a little more to go, but we're almost there. I do have more of this eucalyptus if we need it. I had just cut up one bush, 2 bushes of the tea rose, and 1 bush of eucalyptus, and 1 bush of the berries. So a total of 4 bushes of florals is in this wreath. It's the one grapevine that we divided. We deconstructed it and then built it back. We did that in the beginning together. And then we joined the wreaths together to form this one infinity symbol. And now we're placing our florals. And this is going to be a very beautiful wreath. Glue showing. As I said, I'm using a little more moss than I normally would need to use, but I believe that's because of dividing and reconstructing our grapevine into 2 made the grapevine itself a little bit thinner. It's plenty sturdy, it's just thinner for the stems to go in. Like, I don't know if you can see this. I'm just looking. I can see 1 stem is showing there. So what I'll do is take this little stick. I'm going to just apply a little bit of glue on that. And then I'm just going to take a little bit of that moss and just wedge it in and cover that stem. Just like that. And then I can just go back and give it a haircut. Nice and neat. And now you don't see it. Okay, so we're back to eucalyptus. Make sure you're sliding with the grain of the grapevine so you're not going through to the other side. I mean, it does happen, but you don't want it to happen if it can be avoided. Let's go back and give it a little haircut. Okay. Need my berry. As I said earlier when we were doing the first portion of this video, I have signed up for 2 design classes. I think I began one in October and the other I signed up for in November, and I'm enjoying it very much. Learning new techniques. The reason why we do it that way, and it's very informative, and I can see my wreaths improving as I get further along in my classes. So I am in Julie Samako's Wreath of the Month class, and also Kalia, her design school, and they're both fantastic teachers. Do such beautiful work. And Kali also sells product, and her product is wonderful. Because that's the key to a good design. You have to be careful when you're buying your florals. Like these, I did get these at Michael's, but I mean, you have to check them and make sure they look nice. Because there's some florals out there that aren't that good. I do seem to find nice ones at Michael's and also at Hobby Lobby. They're in their better quality section. Working with the moss is a little messy. Okay, we need some berry. No, wait a minute. No, I just put the eucalyptus. I need roses. Oh, that's what I did. I forgot to put my berry in behind my rose. We've got enough room, so let me just put that in there. There. Now eucalyptus, and now we'll do our next rose. Okay, and I just need to cut a little bit more on my berry. And what I did is I took the berries off the main bush. I cut all the stems off. And these slide, I don't know if you can see that. These slide up and down. So I got 2 cuts out of each stem. So then I just cut this in half. And then because I've cut this, I don't want that to be able to fall off. I just go back with my needle nose plier, loop it over, bring the floral up to it, and it's not going to slide off. Okay, let's see. Our eucalyptus. Well, we're just about finished. I think I can still get a rosebud in there. And the other berry that we just cut, bring that in too. Perfect. We just got right up to our bow. Little moss. Okay, let's hold it up and see how it looks. Oops, catching those. Okay, so here's our design. Having our infinity symbol, I think leaving that open is very pretty. Just softening the whole look with our bow. It's very sweet, very delicate, it's very romantic. That's the good word for it. Almost has a Victorian feel to it. Would be beautiful hanging over a mirror in the dining room. As I said earlier, it could be used in a nursery. Perfect for the couple. Wonderful for Mother's Day with the pink and white. Very sweet for Mother's Day. So many, many uses for this wreath. And I'm looking at it, I'm checking it from all sides. We've got excellent coverage. I don't believe we need to add any more to it. I think it's perfect just the way it is. So there you have it. We have a Tea Rose Infinity Wreath. Perfect for the bridal couple, Mother's Day, new baby, anyone who has a feminine, romantic decor would be perfect in their home. Would make a wonderful housewarming gift. So there you have it. I hope you enjoyed. Thank you so much for coming along on this journey with me. Please remember to like and share. I would so appreciate it if you'd leave a comment giving me some feedback as to what you thought of the video and my style of explaining and my design. It would be greatly appreciated. So until our next video, this is Elaine. I'm going to say goodbye for today. Thank you. Bye now.